Look, I get it. It isn't easy to take responsibility when everything seems to be going against you and what you desire, because then you feel like it's actually blaming yourself. It's not always easy. And it is easier a lot of times to blame something outside of you than take responsibility. Blame and responsibility are two completely different things. With blame, there's a negative connotation, there's a negative energy, and there's some guilt or shame or something around it. Taking responsibility is the exact opposite. It's actually very empowering. It's seeing what you can do about it. Because when you take responsibility, it gives you the opportunity to completely change your life. It's absolutely amazing. So there is no one to blame. Being responsible for your own life means looking within, not blaming. And this is the key. It means being aware of the words that you use, the thoughts that you have, and of course, the actions that you take. All of it works together. Your thoughts, words, and actions are powerful and create your reality. Welcome to the Life is a Healing Journey podcast by yours truly, Anuschka, with a C. This podcast explores how you can create a true healthy lifestyle and live your life to the fullest in the face of any circumstance by healing and balancing your mind, body, spirit. If you are someone that's been dealing with disharmony in any area of your life and you are committed to seeking harmony, this podcast is for you. Let's start healing. Today's podcast is focused on the mind piece of mind, body, spirit. And being the 10th episode, it is the first time, and going forward, the plan is to continue doing these episodes with you on video. Words are the most powerful force available to humanity. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and even to humble another person. The words we choose and how we use them can either build others up or tear them down. They can bring a whole community together or just rip them apart. Words are powerful, whether we think them or speak them. Either way, there is power in those words. Your thoughts are a catalyst for a never-ending cycle. What you think directly influences how you feel and how you behave. So if you think you're a failure, you're going to feel like a failure. And then you're going to act like a failure, which reinforces your belief that you must be a failure. And with that belief, you begin to attract experiences to prove this belief. Because we're always proving the stories we have until we break that cycle and create a whole new story, one that has us having empowering thoughts, using empowering words, not coming from self-limiting beliefs. Many believe life is happening to them, as if they don't have anything to do with the experiences they're having in their life. When in fact, life continues to happen for you. If you choose to see it that way, though, it's all your choice. Of course, for some, it is difficult to believe this concept that life is happening to them because their lives seem to be so difficult. A lot of chaos or drama. I used to be one of them, so I totally get it. I was always so negative in my 20s, even early 30s, and thought people are bad and evil and out to get me. So guess what kind of people would show up in my life and what kind of experience I would have. And when I realized how negative I am being, after learning about the law of attraction, that's when I started to create that awareness and start shifting my words and thoughts, of course. Over time, I started taking responsibility for my life and the reality that I had been creating for myself. Once I actually started noticing these different experiences, then the new experiences came about, completely shifted everything in my life. Look, I get it. It isn't easy to take responsibility when everything seems to be going against you and what you desire, because then you feel like you have to, it's actually blaming yourself. It's not always easy. And it is easier a lot of times to blame something outside of you than take responsibility. Blame and responsibility are two completely different things. With blame, there's a negative connotation, there's a negative energy, and there's some guilt or shame or something around it. Taking responsibility is the exact opposite. It's actually very empowering, is seeing what you can do about it. Because when you take responsibility, it gives you the opportunity to completely change your life. It's absolutely amazing. So there is no one to blame. Being responsible for your own life means looking within, not blaming. And this is the key. It means being aware of the words that you use, the thoughts that you have, and of course, the actions that you take. All of it works together. Your thoughts, words, and actions are powerful and create your reality. They say everything you want in life has the potential of being yours. Buddha said, what you dwell upon, you become. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. Plato, reality is created by the mind. And of course, Einstein, I always have his quotes handy. I love his quotes. Everything is energy. And that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. Now, I get it. That one's a bit more on the energetic standpoint and spirit. And it still comes from our thoughts, which are comprised of words. Robin Sharma also said, what you focus on grows. What you think about expands, and what you dwell upon determines your destiny. Doesn't matter what decade or how many years ago, all these different known people have had a similar concept, different language, different words, and the intention behind all of it is the same. So it becomes your choice on what you focus on and the words you use, whether out loud or silently to yourself. And when you focus on positivity, it can then lead to a joyous, full of love and peaceful life, even in the toughest of circumstances. Because when you learn to live your life to the fullest in the face of any circumstance, it's my motto, as you get to know me more, you're going to hear this one all the time. But when you learn to take this on, you're able to view the toughest of circumstances as a gift and begin to learn the lessons that were meant for you to learn. Now, of course, that won't happen while you're in this tough situation, because while you're in it, it feels like a cloud and everything is around you. All the emotions are heightened, right? And when you continue to believe that there is a gift or gifts in this and begin seeking, what is the gift in this experience? I know this is happening for me. So what is it that I'm supposed to get out of this? Then eventually you will get that clarity in hindsight. It's like I always say, when you're in the cocoon, it's gooey, it's messy. Like a caterpillar literally eats itself inside out, right? Very uncomfortable, all the things, and doesn't know what's on the other side until the butterfly emerges, right? So take a look at any tough situation as you're back in that cocoon and you're about to emerge into your next level. Words are powerful. Think of powerful words throughout history, which have had a lasting impact in our world today. It's something huge that happened in Iran for women to be the ones to lead a revolution that unfortunately we're still in, and the regime is still continuing to oppress its people. I still have actual signs on my car because I constantly want to create awareness, since it's completely shut down on the media and all else. Yet this is something that has gone viral, woman, life, freedom. And when you declare something, believe and have faith it will happen, and take actions towards what you declared, you will create your reality. I truly believe that this woman, life, freedom will become our reality, just as Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream became a reality. Having faith is a huge factor. Faith isn't religious, although it can be, of course, and it's not only about religion or having faith in only religion. Faith is really believing in something without having proof. Knowing something will be, just this deep knowing intuitively without any evidence of it. It is defined as complete trust or confidence in someone or something. You could have doubt all your life and think the worst case scenarios, or have faith that everything is always working out for your highest good. And I always like to add magically. That's my thing. And you can do the same if you'd like. Whenever there is even the slightest doubt, there is no faith. Faith is out the door. You cannot have faith and doubt at the same time. Just like you can't have love and judgment simultaneously. They cannot exist together. Every person may have their own version of whatever faith looks like. It could be the universe, spirit, source, religion, God, nature, inner knowing, or even the waves of energy in space. All it is knowing that there is something bigger than us. When you believe and have faith that everything happening in your life is for you and for your highest good, in the long run, even the worst of experiences will have a gift or gifts in them. There will always be something when you seek it. Whether or not you seek it, there always is. It's just a matter of, are you going to view it in a negative way or a positive way? Again, free will, right? Your choice. We all have limiting beliefs. A limiting belief is a thought or state of mind that you think is the absolute truth and stops you from doing things. That's what we do. We stop because of these limiting beliefs. And these beliefs don't always have to be about yourself either. They could be about how the world works, certain ideas or opinions, how you interact with people, what others may be thinking of you, what you think of others, right? All of this, and the list goes on. Our thoughts and beliefs can also hold us back from building the life we desire and experience the reality we dream of. Self-limiting thoughts and beliefs can even hold us back from going after our goals. Our mind is on autopilot, and it runs automatic thought processes that are filled with the same repetitive ideas and deeply embedded beliefs, some of which you may not even be aware of. And so we begin to create these stories in our minds and convince ourselves of things that aren't true. Because of our past experiences, we begin to set limitations on the goals that we can achieve and begin to get distracted with what isn't important, the little things in life. And then this becomes apparent in the words we use when we're communicating with others and with ourselves. This is why the first step in creating the reality that you desire and freeing yourself of limitations is always, always awareness. I always say awareness is 80% of anything. As always, this is key. And then making the choice to change your narrative, your story. It's also important to believe everything happens for your highest good. You're going to hear me say this a lot during my podcast, because life isn't always going to be exactly how you imagine it to go. Things happen in life that is completely out of our control and for you. Sometimes we like to be in control of everything. And during those times, that's a lot of times when life will throw something at you for you to actually step back and surrender. Like what happened to me and continues to happen to me, right? With this whole fertility journey. I actually finally feel like I've surrendered to divine timing. We'll just put it up there. It's going to happen when it's going to. And of course, I would never have consciously chosen having a brain tumor. Are you kidding me? There's no way. It's not something like, yes, let me get a brain tumor right now to have me catapult into the next level. No, this was not something that would have been my first choice in order to grow. Yet it was the best thing that could have happened to me. The toughest time of my life, absolutely. And the best thing that could have happened to me. And it catapulted me in my soul's purpose at a much faster rate. I would not be here speaking with you right now had I not gone through this experience. It truly propelled me to grow massively, exponentially, way more than I would have going through just everyday life. Maybe I would have gotten to my soul's purpose 10, 15, 20 years later. This literally had me just like a slingshot, like fly, like a cannibal or whatever you want to call it. And as I always say, the greater the pain and struggle, the greater the gain and gratitude. It's like a pendulum. And see, now on video, I can show you when we have something that's completely tough or on this end and release it, right? It goes all the way to the other side versus if it's down here, and it's a lot less, right? Because of balance. There's always balance. So when we have those greater pain and struggles, then there is going to be a balance of that where you get to experience true gain and gratitude. I didn't even know what gratitude was. Of course I knew what gratitude was, and I never experienced it viscerally the way I have ever since my rebirth, to the point of tears. It's overflowing gratitude that brings out tears from my eyes. And that in itself is something I will never take back. So you can look at any situation and either be negative about it or positive about it. You can think, why me, poor me, and get all victim-y, and that's fine. Look, that's part of it, right? That's something I went through as well. And not to stay there, not to dwell in that victim mode. Afterwards, once you allow yourself to feel your feels, and then you can begin to start looking for what the purpose of this experience is, seeking the gifts. What is it that you can learn from this experience? One of the ways that I guide my clients for receiving their intuition and practicing their intuition, and really just about intuition, right? When we choose from our intuition, it's like taking an elevator up, right? You keep going up. We're always going to be ascending to the next level. Always, right? That's what we're here for. We're growing, we're healing. Life is a healing journey, right? We're constantly peeling and healing these layers. And with an elevator, it goes right up. Now, on the other hand, free will, again, you can choose not to listen to your intuition. And that's totally fine. You're still going to go upwards. And through that, you might hit some obstacles. And it might be more like a zigzag, right? And as you're going up through the zigzag, you're constantly going to be learning, right? That's a choice again. You have the option and possibility to learn from whatever things didn't go the way that you expected, right? So either way works. There's no right or wrong way of doing things, and it becomes a choice. For me, of course, I choose to go positively, even in the toughest of times. Like right now, I can't even tell you how things are just not going our way. We're remodeling a house, fertility stuff, Airbnb stuff. I can just go on and on and on. And I'm constantly allowing myself to feel the feels, do a quick psyche for myself to release it all and reset my energy, and then keep choosing living life to the fullest in the face of any circumstance and seeking the gift. I know down the road, we will realize what gifts came out of it all. For now, it's just having the awareness, even though it won't be obvious in the storm of it all. And it may take some time, you will eventually discover all the good that came from it. Remember, life is happening for you, not to you. This is key. Keep looking at life as it's happening for me. What can I learn from this? And these, again, are the words that we can use for you, right? Not to you. And so with that perspective, even the worst of times will come to end quicker as long as you continue feeling the feels, really allowing yourself to let it all out. If you're angry, scream. If you're sad, cry, whatever it is, allow those energies to come out of you and seek the gift, knowing it is always in your highest good. Many times, what may be in our highest good is beyond our imagination. So choose your words and thoughts wisely. It doesn't always go the way you planned. A lot of times it actually doesn't. Yet because it is the universal law of balance, for order to always follow chaos, they do go hand in hand. So there will always be sunshine and a rainbow or two after every rainstorm. Keep seeking that rainbow or rainbows and sunshine. It will come out. That's just how it is. Now, to create your reality has a few components to make it your actual experience in life. First and foremost, willpower. The first spark of the creating process comes from your willpower. Like we said, it's all about that free will, right? It's the determination to change the world within you and around you. By having strong willpower, you can create a real world for yourself that is based on your likes, desires, and manifestations of all those wishes which you have carved for yourself. Every time you feel that things are going out of your hand, then you need to realize your inner power to take charge of what you are losing. You cannot necessarily control the world that you live in. It's out of our control. And you can still have a willful consideration that you are able to shift your words, thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions in a desirable way. Second, of course, power of words. You create your reality by the power of words and the ones that you choose. Till this day, I will never use the word remission, and I guide clients to not use that word either, because it does not mean healed or cured. If you actually look up remission, it will say reduction. Cancer may still remain in the body. Why would I ever say such a thing? And why would anyone want to use this word? So I also guide clients to not use this word. Instead, say, I'm healed, I'm cured. Such a lighter way of saying it. And of course, I do the subconscious reprogramming with them to ensure they believe this on a subconscious level, not just on the conscious level, because that's essential. Third, thoughts. Our thoughts, which we keep talking about, guide our emotions and actions. The human brain never goes empty. It's always spiraling, right? All the thoughts. And of course, thoughts are made up of words, right? That's why thoughts and words go hand in hand. When you realize that thoughts create your reality, you can then make those desired changes that you wish to see in your life. Thoughts are alive and possess limitless energy. If you harbor positive thoughts, it generates positive vibes. And if you harbor negative thoughts, it generates negative vibes. Your life is a mirror to your thoughts. Number 4, emotions. Every thought creates an emotion within. It's just how it goes. Anything you think of. Now, the emotion might just be neutral, right? Or non-attachment. It might not be anything, yet think of something, anything, like the sun. Like if I think of the sun, it brings me joy. If I think of the cold, complete, like my entire body contracts, right? It's an emotion. It can be happiness, joy, fear, anger, jealousy, right? Now we have core emotions, which we'll talk about at a later episode. So whatever it is, you end up having those feelings. If you concentrate on pain and suffering, then you continue to bring more of that into your life. Some people do it on a subconscious level, not realizing it because of experiences they've had. For instance, if they had no affection growing up, This is an example, an actual true example. I've had clients like this, where if they didn't get the affection that they really wanted as a child, then they end up having all these different physical symptoms because that gives them attention and affection from their loved ones. And they don't even realize that this is what's happening. It's completely automatic and subconscious, from a subconscious side. So all of this is very much connected. Think about the patterns in your life. As much as it may seem that life is difficult, life truly can be simple, and it is not as difficult as it appears. It really is your perception and emotions that make things difficult for you. Imagine if 80% or more of the time you were happy, happy, joy, joy, love, peace, all of that, all the high vibes, right? In the toughest of circumstances, when you continue to raise your vibration, then life won't be as difficult as it appears. 5, beliefs. Again, these are all the things we're talking about already, right? And these are how to create your reality. Belief and faith, right? They do go hand in hand. Beliefs are the source of your thoughts. If you believe that you live in a hostile world, then you will have that experience. On the other hand, if you believe you live in a friendly, loving, generous world, then you will also have that experience. Einstein said the most fundamental question, which I've mentioned before in previous episode, and this question to ask yourself is, do you believe you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one? That will show you your reality. Number 6, choices. We all make choices about all kinds of things, right? Things that we wish we had, where we want to go, what we want to do, traveling, whatever it is. We are always making choices. And the choices we make determine the real world and reality for us. If we make positive choices, empowering choices, the universe responds and moves in that positive direction. So really take a look at these 5 different ways of how you do life and see the experience shift in your life. Now, of course, for the practice area to integrate into your life and really create a more awareness, create a word tracker and begin jotting down the words you use often that are disempowering or self-limiting. Just constantly create that awareness and see what words am I using often. Notice the reality based on these words. Does your reality correlate with the words you use? Whether you're saying them out loud or silently, right? Both. Next to each word, write a replacement word. And write a replacement word that is empowering and self-enhancing. Begin changing the way you speak with these new words. Now, you might need to write a few sentences down using these new words in replacement of the old words and sentences, because it won't be second nature, right? It's uncomfortable at first. And eventually you'll start noticing little shifts. And as you notice the little ones, it's all baby steps, right? Then you begin to create bigger shifts. And then, of course, thoughts as well. Subscribe to not miss next week's episode focused on the body. Thank you for listening to Life is a Healing Journey podcast. You are here to peel and heal one layer at a time, to live your life to the fullest in the face of any circumstance, while embracing a life filled with love, joy, and peace. If you are in disharmony in any area of your life and truly desire to be in harmony and committed to elevating your health and well-being, I'm one click away. Find me at healingwithanuschka.com. And remember, that's Anuschka with a C. And if you like what you heard, please subscribe and share this podcast with your loved ones. Get your healing on. Until next time.